Good morning, everyone. AA60D, K6YYL. I don't really have much to report. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, if you get a chance, you might look up the numbers before we go back around and let us know about this geomagnetic storm that's going on.
Okay.
Let's see, we have Mark, AG6ZR.
AG6ZR, Mark in Upland, morning AA6DD, Will in the group. Interesting discussion on the little preamps. I just picked up 5 little 386 surface mount mono channel amplifiers from China, about $1.50 a piece, I think. I got a couple from another outfit in China earlier. The first ones I got were $3 and something, were a little higher quality, had silk screening on the boards. One I got for $1 something were pretty interesting. Most of the same components, probably pretty much single sourced on that stuff, but and most of 10 of the components are surface mount, including the 386 chip, but there's 4 through holes, a couple of terminal blocks, and a capacitor, and header pins, and most of that stuff, especially the header pins, were all short circuit soldered together. It looked like all cold solder joints. That was all the stuff that had to be hand soldered. Of course, the flow soldered stuff on the surface mount side all looked pretty good. The robots were doing a good job, but yeah, the quality on the dollar stuff, I had to rework every board, but just very funny. I'd be curious to see what the quality was on the boards in the little preamps you're talking about. Back to you, Will, AA6DD, AG6ZR.
Oh, they're very good. Every one I have has worked. Every time I throw batteries in them and turn them on, and I've done that, 5 or 6 of them, they all work nicely. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, like I say, the stuff that I paid a little more than $3 for on Amazon and ordered a month ago was actually a company I bought some small testers and stuff from, LC, and their stuff was quite nice, and nice shiny solder joints on the through hole stuff, but the flux that's left on the boards, the dollar stuff, looks like I don't know what kind of flux, and almost looks like chalk, and all the joints are just, it must be lead-free solder because they're not shiny, but also several of them are just really badly done, so interesting stuff.
Okay, very good, Mark. Anything else, and we'll move on.
That's it, AG6ZR.
Okay, let's see if Pat is out there, W6PMD. Robert, AD6XJ. Good morning, John, KU6X.
I guess I'm on the air here. Yeah, I don't have anything to report, Will. I will be interested in the Chinese are sure flooding the market with cheap stuff. So I think it would totally discourage anybody from coming up with a little product that has any, even if maybe 1,000 people would be interested in buying them. I'm sure that some little Chinese mom and pop store is building these things, and at what one. Excuse me, probably 1/5 the price or even less of that. So it's kind of good and bad. Not too much going on here technically. Kind of keeping track of what our daughter is going through with her twins. She was at the hospital last night, about 4 weeks before she's supposed to have them. So anyway, that's all keeping us kind of busy. But I would be interested in your little homodyne, just a real quick description of what you added to it with the 2 transistors there, Will. A60D KU6X.
Oh, okay, John. Well, I used instead of the JFET, I used a 2SK439E, the MOSFET, as the first amplifier coming off the tuned circuit. And then I do use the PNP transistor in the similar configuration. The values of stuff are different. With a BC557, the new transistor, you could use a 3906 there. And then instead of going right into the diode detector and over to the limiter, I put another amplifier in, a capacitor coupled BC549 NPN amplifier. And then that drives the diode detectors, which is a voltage doubler diode detector, on out to a 220 k ohm DC path to ground and a 1000 picofarad bypass, and a 6.8 microfarad in series from the audio out. Off that same collector with another capacitor, 1000 picofarads, goes off and I amplify again with a NPN BC549, which is it then drives through a 10 k ohm resistor the limiter diodes. The limiter diodes then come back through an adjustable 25 k ohm resistor, back to the same 220 k ohm resistor, up to the gate. But the gate tap must be at the bottom of the inductor. The gate tap, for phasing purposes or whatever purposes, I think it's the phasing system, ends up being only about 1/10 up from the bottom of the inductor, and then that's where it taps in to the LC network. It drives all signals, drive the diodes into limiting. It does not BFO. It does synchronous AM detect, and I can go as high as 6.2 megs, and go depending on how you tap. So there's a lot of experimentation to be done with the tapping of the coil, as well as tapping if you want to try to put an antenna on it, and how long the antenna is. So tremendous experimentation around that area. But the one I've got working here basically works very well from about 1 meg to 6.2 megs, continuously tuned with a 0.5 meter antenna on it, going through 20 picofarads, tap towards the top of the inductor, and the gate and the feedback resistor tap towards the bottom of the inductor. Go ahead, John.
Yeah, are there two additional transistors before it goes to the limiter?
No. Yes. There's 2 additional transistors before you get to the limiter. That is correct.
So coming off the PNP, you go into another NPN, and then that's in RC coupled, I guess, into the second NPN after that?
Yes.
Okay, got it. And the detector is coming off the 4th transistor or off the 3rd transistor?
The detector is coming off the 3rd transistor.
But the limiter is going after the 4th transistor?
Roger.
All right, very interesting. I'll have to start playing around with that thing one of these days.
Okay. So yeah, this thing puts out a huge amount of voltage. So many of these little reach-ins, they just put out nothing. You have to put audio preamp on top of audio preamp on top of audio preamp. My vacuum tube Heathkit audio amplifier that I use on all this stuff, with electric eye and all that. The volume is like I have to crank it down to basically almost a dead short because there's so much audio coming out of this thing. Go ahead.
So you said it always goes into it locks up, but you can't tune it off?
Oh yeah, you can tune it off, but you can tune it on, and you look on the scope, you can see that the carriers are being slammed linear. In the original design, a number of the big carriers would limit it completely, but other ones didn't.
Okay, but you said you couldn't tune it off frequency as like a regen?
Yeah, I can't get it to BFO. You can't get it to product detect, and the other one doesn't BFO very well for me either. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, that's not a problem on the AM band or shortwave, but if you want to use it for 75 or a 75-meter sideband or something, it might not be. Maybe something else needs to be done.
Yeah, something else needs to be done. And you'll have to just add your own little BFO and on frequency. Go ahead.
All right. Well, that's real interesting. I'd like to try that circuit. I know Jim thinks it's a whiz-bang circuit there. So, is there any main advantage to having that thing like it is on the broadcast band? You can hear a lot more signals.
Oh yeah, I hear everything. This thing hears anything that a cheap superhead will hear.
Okie dokes. That's real interesting. Okay, Will, that's it for me. AA60D, KU6X.
Alrighty. Do we have any late missed or visitor check-ins? Call signs, please. Okay, let's go back to Jim, WA6YLS. I did add a single stage onto this, and I knew that it was going to be out of phase. But I tried to tap back to the coil and see if I could find some weird phase flip, and it didn't work. I couldn't get regeneration that way. I could have obviously by link coupling and flipped the phase that way, but so that's why. I put another stage on to flip the phase to drive the limiters with the idea that I would get saturated limiting all the time, even on weak signals. And that worked, but I still had to end up tapping way down on the coil. So there is a real phase shift through the whole system in order to get it back in phase. And signals were so strong that I didn't want to, on the real strong stages, the second amplifier was starting to approach limiting. So that's why I didn't put the diodes off the fourth stage, the diode detectors. So the diode detectors are coming off the third stage so that nothing is saturated by the time they are rectifying even with strong signals. And then the fourth stage is amplifying enough that everything, even the weakest signals, are pushing hard on the limiters. And then when you go through everything coming